Welcome back to the second segment of the hashtag Brothers of Baseball show right here on the Big Game Christian Sports Network. It's your boy Willie Epting Jr. holding it down, man, rolling solo. This is the second segment of our Major League Baseball wild card preview. Just in case you missed it in the first segment, yeah, we talked about the season that was, looking back on a historical season and one that was very entertaining and very exciting, man, because of the rule changes and just the play itself and the shortening of the game, individual milestones that were set from the likes of Ronald Acuna Jr. and Julio Rodriguez, Bobby Witt Jr. and Matt Olson and so many others. I mean, it was really, really, really something to behold. So we're going to pick back up here in just a second, and we're going to do the power rankings, if you will, for the playoff teams, and then we're going to do the tale of the tape. Then, of course, we're going to do the predictions, and then we're going to get up out of here. We got to salute the OGs as well, and RIP to one of the greats. So before we move any further, this second segment, it is being brought to you by Front End Sports. That's right, baby. Front End Sports. They are in prime position. If you need branding, they got you covered. I'm telling you right now. So let's go ahead and tell you what they do. Front End Sports, founded in 2022, dedicated to empowering athletes, teams, and organizations with cutting-edge social media, merchandising, and NIL strategies to help your brand through innovative and personalized solutions. Their team consists of experienced professionals with diverse backgrounds in sports, marketing, design, and technology who share a passion for helping others succeed or helping their clients succeed and unlock their full potential. So go to frontendsports.com so you can get your branding on, and they will actually get you tightened up with that. Tell them that your boy, Willie Epting Jr. from the ShakeBack Media Group, the hashtag Brothers of Baseball show, and of course, the Big Game Christian Sports Network told you to holler at them so y'all can set it off on getting all that squared away. All right, so before we actually move on to the power rankings, Big Day, just want to touch back on a little bit what I talked about in the first segment, really in terms of the shortening of the game and how it made so much more of a watchable product. Also, with the rule changes, I believe, now, not to say that you don't have to be athletic to play baseball. Obviously, you have to have some semblance of athleticism to play that sport. But I believe, this is just what I believe, that the rule changes and the speeding up of the game has allowed for the return of more athleticism and not the sizzler, more athleticism in that sport. Think about all the stolen bases. Think about all of the outfield assists. Think about Ellie De La Cruz stealing second and third and home in the same inning. All those great things, ladies and gentlemen. Look, you got to have some kind of athleticism to be able to do those things. And to me, that's what this season was filled with, was those type of things. And I, for one, hope that it only continues to get better. I believe that it will, because baseball, Major League Baseball, they're still experimenting, if you will, with different things in terms of rule changes that's going to help the game become that much more of a better product, a more marketable product. And you know what? Something else too. I love how they are finally making the superstars way more marketable. One of the funnier commercials out there to me is the commercial with Juan Soto and Julio Rodriguez. He's in one. Yeah, those. I think you made the right choice. That's what Juan Soto said in his commercial. So I think it's a glorious thing in Major League Baseball. I'm not going to sit here and say today that they're catching up with the NFL, or the NBA for that matter. But what I am saying is that it seems like to me that the gap is beginning to close somewhat. And you can tell that by what I said in the first segment with the increased attendance of over 70 million people watching the game in the stands. Now, let's just do some quick math. And then we're going to get to the power rankings, Big Day. Let's do some quick math. If you have 70.3 million people and you charge $1 a piece, how much money is that? Let's see. 7 times 1 is 7. Add the 0, and then you add the other zeros plus the 3 million or 300,000 or whatever it is, and you got $70+ million. If you charge $1 a piece, that ain't got nothing to do with TV revenue. That has nothing to do with parking. That has nothing to do with concessions. That has nothing to do with jersey sales. It has nothing to do with any of that. That is a lot of freaking money that Major League Baseball has brought in this year. And you know them dollars, you know them tickets ain't $1 a piece. Nowhere. They don't do that anymore. The hot dogs ain't even $1 anymore on certain nights. All right, Big Day, enough of the gibberish. Let's go ahead and get to these power rankings because this is the last one of the year. And it is only inclusive of the playoff teams. And instead of it being the top 10, it's going to be the top 12 because there's 6 teams in each league. So without further ado, Big Day, hit the music, man, for the final power rankings of the year. All right. Once again, American League, top 6. National League, top 6. Then we're going to have the top 12 teams in the majors. And of course, these are the last 12 teams that are standing. No, just a bit outside because everybody is just a bit outside. And if you're the Oakland A's and an Oakland A's fan, you're not even outside. You outside of the outside looking in. You're not even in the atmosphere. You're not even in the stratosphere, the atmosphere of the earth. That's how bad my team was. And I can say that because I've been a fan of theirs since as long as I can walk. All right, Big Day, let's go. Top 5 or top 6 in the American League. Here we go. Number 6, I have the Toronto Blue Jays. Number 5, I have the American League Central champions, the Minnesota Twins. Number 4, I have the American League West by virtue of a tiebreaker that they lost, the Texas Rangers. I have at number 3, the American League runner-up, even though they got off to that hot start and they were number 1 in all of baseball for a myriad of weeks or for many weeks, Tampa Bay Rays. Number 2, I've got the team that just continues to just churn, and they ain't cheating this time as far as we know. Number 2, Dusty Baker, hello, the Houston Astros. And the number 1 team in the American League that went from almost not worse last year, but worse definitely the year before that, to first with all of those great names they have over there, the Baltimore Orioles. So let's run it back. Number 6, American League East, Toronto Blue Jays. Number 5, American League Central champion, Minnesota Twins. Number 4, the American League West runner-up, but they did finish in a tie with the Houston Astros in terms of record, the Texas Rangers. Number 3, 99 wins for this team. Not enough to win the division, but they are the best wild card, or they're the highest seeded wild card team in the AL. That's the Tampa Bay Rays. And the number 2 team in the American League, the Houston Astros. Number 1, the Baltimore Orioles. All right, Big Day. We got to swing it to the National League. We got about 7 minutes left to go in this second segment. Let's go ahead and get to the National League. Number 6, hashtag Make It Miami. The Marlins, they are here. Even from a down year or with the down year from their ace rather, Sandy Alcantara, they're here. Number 5, the Arizona Diamondbacks. The Arizona Diamondbacks are going to be a problem. They can hit for power. They have a strong pitching rotation. They have a great bullpen. They may be the most athletic team in the playoffs because they will swipe a bag. They can beat you with the long ball. They can beat you with the short ball. That's the Arizona Diamondbacks at number 5. Number 4, the Philadelphia Phillies. Last year's NL defending champions. They're back again to defend that crown. Number 3, after a year hiatus, did they make it last year? I can't remember if they made it last year or not. But anyway, after a year of not winning the NL Central, let's just put it that way. How about the Milwaukee Brewers? Number 2, the Los Angeles Dodgers, another 100-win season. They've won I think it's their 13th division championship in the last 14 years. That one that did not come was last year when they won 100 games. And then the number 1 team in the National League, the Atlanta Braves. All right, let's run it back. Number 6, South Florida's Fishes. They're here. The Miami Marlins. Number 5, the Arizona Snakes, the Diamondbacks, the Rattlers. They're here. Number 4, the Fighting Phils of Philadelphia. They're here. Number 3, the Milwaukee Brewers, the Brewmakers. # this is my crew. Number 2, the Los Angeles Dodgers, and the number 1 team in the National League is the Atlanta Braves. All right, so let's go to the top 12 teams in the majors. And of course, all of these teams are in the playoffs. Playoffs? Yeah, we're talking playoffs, Jim Mora. So yeah, let's go ahead and get to that. And we're gonna start here. Number 12, the Miami Marlins. Number 11, the Arizona Diamondbacks. Number 10, the Toronto Blue Jays. Number 9, the Minnesota Twins. Number 8, # straight up Texas. That's the Texas Rangers. Number 7, the Philadelphia Phillies. Number 6, the Milwaukee Brewers. Number 5, the Tampa Bay Rays. Number 4, the Houston Astros. The number 3 team in all of baseball, the Baltimore Orioles. Number 2, the LA Dodgers. And the number 1 team in all of the sport, the Atlanta Braves. We're going to run it back here in just a second, and I'm going to touch on a couple of different things for most of these teams that are here. Let's do this. Number 12. Let's go back to number 12. Excuse me. We have at number 12 the Miami Marlins. Again, I didn't think they would get here, to be honest with you. It was going to be between them, the Cubs, and possibly the Reds. Miami did enough in September to make their mark on the postseason. Number 11, same thing with the Diamondbacks from at number 11. They were up and down, particularly in July and August. They started to put things together at the end of August. They went on a bit of a streak there in September, and now they're here as the number 11 team in Major League Baseball. Number 10, the Toronto Blue Jays. The Toronto Blue Jays, to me, are an enigma. I memean, they've got a decent rotation led by Kevin Gausman. We know all the things they have in their lineup with Vlad Jr. and Bo Bichette and Matt Chapman, of course, as well as George Springer. But they just seem to continue to underperform. But they're in the postseason. Number 9, the Minnesota Twins. Byron Buxton. He is one of the best players that people don't hardly talk about. Number 8, the Texas Rangers. The Texas Rangers have one of the most prolific offenses in all of the majors. Their struggles, their bullpen. And as a matter of fact, the very thing that makes you laugh makes you cry. Because in the game in which they had to win in order to secure the AL West championship, which would have been their first, I want to say, since 2014, they got shut out by the Seattle Mariners. All right, number 7, Philadelphia Phillies. Bryce Harper, Kyle Schwarber, no Reese Hoskins all year. He's been out with the elbow injury all year. JT Realmuto, and how about Mr. Tawan Walker in the year that he's had on the bump? Elevated ERA a little bit, but he finished with 16 wins, I think it was. Number 6, the Milwaukee Brewers, steady. That's the best word I can describe them as, steady. Number 5, the Tampa Bay Rays. Tampa Bay Rays, look, 99 wins in a normal season would get you a division championship, but it just isn't. It just wasn't for them, as they kind of had a little bit of a breakdown there in the dog days of the summer, like in July, the end of July and into August. When they came out of the All-Star break, they actually had the Orioles in Tropicana. And shout out to the city of St. Petersburg for getting a new stadium approved for that team. They're too good to be playing in a venue such as that. Now, let's hope that the fans come out and turn out and support that team the way they deserve. But yeah, when the Orioles went to Tampa or St. Pete, the very first series after the All-Star break, they went out there and took 3 out of 4 from them. That was huge. And I think that set the tone for the Orioles the rest of the year. All right. Number 4, rather, we have the Houston Astros, your AL West division champions again. Number 3, the Baltimore Orioles, Adley Rutschman, Anthony Santander, Cedric Mullins, Gunnar Henderson. I mean, the list goes on and on and on for that team, who I actually think I'm rooting for at this point. Number 2, the Los Angeles Dodgers, Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, Max Muncy. The pitching staff has been under talked about. Clayton Kershaw had a breakout season. I shouldn't say a breakout season. He even had more like a renaissance season. And they suffer so many injuries in that rotation, it ain't even funny. And then the number 1 team in Major League Baseball, that of course belongs to the Atlanta Braves. The Atlanta Braves set records. I think they had 307 home runs as a team this year. That set a record that was set by the Twins and the Yankees in back-to-back seasons not that long ago. And then, of course, when you have Ronald Acuna Jr., you have Ozzie Albies, you have Austin Riley, you have Matt Olson, you have Michael Harris II, you have Sean Murphy. 2 of those players are former A's, by the way. And that team, and how could I forget Marcell Ozuna? That team had, 6 players to hit at least 35 home runs, and the first ever player to ever go for 70 stolen bases and 40 dingers in a season. It's going to be hard to not put the Atlanta Braves at the top of the chain in terms of who we think is going to win the World Series. We're going to get to that as the playoffs proceed to progress. All right, so we got about a minute left to go in this segment, so we're going to start here at the playoffs. Let's run, baby. Let's run. How do we get here? Well, in the American League, the Baltimore Orioles and the Houston Astros secure the top 2 seeds. They both will have a bye. The Houston Astros, by virtue of their win over the Arizona Diamondbacks in game 162, and in the same game, or not in the same game, but in the same number of games, game 162, and the Rangers losing 1-0 to the Seattle Mariners up in the Pacific Northwest, they secured the number 2 seed. So they both will have byes. They are going to be waiting on deck, no pun intended, and we will see how it all comes down when we start talking about the wild card round here in just a few minutes. We're really on the other side of the break. So speaking of that, come on back on the other side of the break. We're going to get to these playoff tape breakdowns. Willie Epting Jr., #Brothers of Baseball Show. Big day, Big Game Christian Sports Network. Y'all come on back and holler at us.